Justin Lucas Savage at CoachRadio.tv. This is the view that you normally see when I'm doing a radio show, although it's probably a little bit more like this. Today I'm going to show you a behind-the-scenes tour of everything that I've got here. It's been a long time coming. I'm going to take you outside, show you kind of a before and after. There's going to be a lot of pictures here on this page at CoachRadio.tv/tour to show you the before and after. This used to be a shed. Literally, a contractor did all of his work, woodworking and stuff right here, and I have completely transformed it. So I'm going to take you around, show you what everything is about, and if you have any questions at all, leave them on this post. Go to CoachRadio.tv/tour if you're not already there. Leave me questions on this post and let me know. I'd be happy to answer those. Come with me. Well, so to start, I'm at my back door right now. This is the back door of my house. You can see the trampoline here in the back. I did a video out there a few months ago. I want to show you kind of the tour walking out to my studio from my back door. It is literally 45 feet. So we've got two sheds out here. I call mine affectionately the studio. This first one I'm going to show you on the inside is a little bit different than the second one, which is where my studio is. So 45 feet, actually we're going to pop in here and I'm going to show you a little bit of what this looks like. This is a little bit of the before as far as organization and whatnot is concerned. This window over here used to be just a single sheet of glass. That's all that was there. There's a little 1/4-inch gap in this other shed that I'm going to show you that I've converted into a studio, down to just bare bones here. There's nothing. We've got some walls, new insulation, OSB flooring, and had a little shelf up there, so there was nothing. So let me show you over here. Just a couple feet away is where I actually work. And this is what it looks like transformed. So we've done a lot of work. We've put some lights up. Now these lights actually get pretty hot. If I was in North Carolina, I probably wouldn't use these. They're halogen lights and there's 6 of them. Actually what I found is that keeps it pretty warm in the winter. During the summertime, I normally don't use them unless I'm doing a show. But what I have going on is the lights are positioned in such a way that it highlights certain things. We've got some pointed at the wall for backlighting, and a couple of them are pointed at my face to light me up. So I didn't want, it's a small space, it's only 10 by 12. So I didn't want anything that was going to be, have big lights set up, any of that laying around the place. So let me just show you around. If you remember that other shed, this is the window. So I put a real physical sliding open window in here, and then there wasn't a window over here and I knocked one in. And just to show you around here, and then I'll kind of show you the gear setup. I've got real walls. I've got all of that. I have a programmable thermostat that actually runs baseboard heating in here. And I'll show you some of the kind of the hard features before I show you the equipment. This floor, I wanted to do something that wasn't carpet or linoleum, wanted a natural floor. Bamboo, corks, hardwood, really expensive, about $600 for this small space, and I just kept telling myself this is a shed. And so I was able to find, we have pine beetles that have infested into a lot of trees here in Colorado and have killed a lot of trees, and so they're trying to figure out what do we do with all of this pine. So pine's a softwood, which I didn't mind at all. For about $150 I was able to do this whole floor, and it's just completely bare pine. I just put a clear coat of polyurethane over it. So let me show you now, when I sit down, this is where I am. And normally, right back here is where the camera that I'm holding now sits. And so it faces me, and you can see this stuff is normally in the background. Kind of looks something like that. Let me give you a tour though and show you what I've got going on. I have a light that I placed right behind this, and it's a fluorescent light. You'll notice it's a different color than these lights up here. They just kind of balance out, provides a little bit more daylight, and of course I'm sitting next to this window that overlooks my backyard here. This is actually one computer. I have an iMac. It's a 21.5-inch iMac, and I'm actually going to leave the equipment list here because inevitably I'll leave something out. So you'll see that at coachradio.tv/tour. You'll see all the equipment that I use and links to a few other things. So this is one single computer, and I just have them connected to this separate monitor. So the computer's on the right, the monitor is on the left, and I like having it a little bit lower so the camera can see directly over that. So when I'm doing a radio show, we've got a lot of things. I can multitask and have things on different monitors, and I don't have to switch around a lot. I have a microphone over here, and then this is my microphone that I normally use. I just pull it around like this. And so when I'm doing the show, I've got this microphone over here. The mics are Heil PR40s. Just a really good, not a cheap microphone, but a really great sounding microphone that I just love. I've got some headphones here and then some guest headphones right back there behind that microphone. This right here is a headphone amplifier. And what it allows me to do, you can see that this one says host, and then this one is guest. This is actually studio sound, and so I have a speaker set up there, one right there to the left of that computer, and then kind of the main bass speaker over there. So the headphone amplifier allows me to take one output from the mixer, which is this. Actually, you can see that it has headphones. This is going to that headphone amplifier, and then I can split it and control multiple volumes. For instance, guest, and then host is mine right there. The next one is called a mic mute, and when you can see that here that it says press and hold to mute. So when I press that, no signal, it just interrupts the signal on my microphone, and that doesn't go out over the air. This is an Edirol digital recorder. It's an R-09. This is the HR. And the screen got a bit cracked in the move, but actually this is just a plastic piece covering the actual screen. So that is that's the digital recorder that I use, which also, you can see that this is marked recorder. I'll show you the mixer here in a second. This goes directly off the board into the digital recorder. Now on the computer side, I've got a couple different things happening. Before I get there, actually, let me show you. This is just a USB hub, really cool. These things flip up, and so it's really hard to access USB ports. I don't have a problem here. I've got that thing going on, and then over here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ports, plus these 2 on the top, plus 2 on the back. And so I've got a lot of expansion that I can do with USB. I really didn't need that many. I only needed about 3 or 4. But this was a great USB port that I just picked up, and I've been loving it, especially for this feature here that, oops, sorry about that, especially for the feature here that I can flip these 2 up and just drop a thumb drive or something into it. So if you search for that on Amazon, pluggable USB 2.0 port. So the computer, I've got a couple of things happening here. I have 2 other computers, a MacBook, and then I'll show you this. It's a PC on the right-hand side in just a second. From the computer, I have 2 things happening. I have computer audio, which is this one on the mixer. Then I also have Skype audio. So computer audio is coming in here. Skype audio is coming in here. Then what I have happening is Skype is going back out to the computer. You have to do what's called a mix minus. So the person that's calling you on Skype, you subtract. So it takes everything from the board, but you don't want them to hear an echo of themselves. So you have to subtract themselves out of it. That's what this row does right here. You can see that it says Skype. And so this is a Skype audio going back out. I have, this is myself, this is a guest. These 2 I'm not using. Computer audio, this one is all the way down. It is the person on Skype, which is right there. That person on Skype is all the way down. That's how you do a mix minus. And then this one is actually just for fun, but this one controls the keyboard, which is directly over here when I kind of need an outlet or just to kind of mess around a little bit. I forgot to describe this in my last video, so I'm going to do it in this one. This is an IP phone, a VoIP phone, so it just goes through the internet. Now what I have is this Bluetooth headset. It's a Jabra headset, which actually goes to this unit right here, which plugs into the phone. Now you have to, this is kind of a call center quality phone or professional office phone. So this is a kind of a Bluetooth device that interacts with that. And then it's plugged in directly into the back of the phone. So I can hit this headphone button right there. See, if I hit this, it's going to go to phone. That's the speaker. And if I hit that, it's going to go to the headset. So just a really cool feature. I'm on the headset a lot. I absolutely love it. Back to the mixer. I wanted to point that out before I forgot. The mixer is a Mackie 1202 VLZ3. Just simply a 12, it has 12 channels, 12 channel mixer. And I'm using these two. I'm not using these two. Using these two, not that one, but that one. So I'm not using 3 of them right now, so it's got a lot of room for expansion. Let me show you on the back of this board. One of the things that's really neat as you start upgrading to a mixer like this is these insert jacks. And these are the ones that are marked here in pink. I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. What it does is it cuts out the signal as it comes in from the microphone, cuts it out from the board. It's just a Y cable. These cables are actually just like this one, where it has a ring and a tip on one end, but on the other end it would have something like this, just a 1/4 inch jack with these 2 black rings on it. So it's an insert cable. It actually sends the signal out from there down to here, and then it sends it back after it gets processed. And here's what this thing does. It's a compressor limiter gate. It's a Behringer Multicom Pro Xl. And what it does on these 4 channels is it compresses the signal, it limits it, and then it puts a gate on it. And I'm not going to go into too much detail on exactly what that does, just to know that I'll give you a quick example. This is really the only reason that I bought it, was I got really used to, over doing 2 years of radio on an AM radio station in Raleigh, North Carolina, I got really used to great audio quality. And what I started to realize when I started doing my own and built out our studio was that I could hear my breath. I'd stop and I'd take a breath in, and I could hear that in my headphones as I was monitoring that, and it just drove me nuts. And so this, what it does is you can set the, you can change some settings on it, so below a certain setting, it doesn't pick up sound. So that just helps the microphone, sort of what the gain does from the mixer. So the gain is right up here. What the gain controls is what level of signal is picked up by the microphone, and so that's what the gain does. But then the compressor limiter gate down there also helps quite a bit with it. While I'm down here, I want to point out the lack of cables on the floor, which is something. This is one of the things that I really wanted to fix. There's 2 legs at the tripod, by the way. I'll link up this tripod. I absolutely love the tripod. Back to the cables in a second. This tripod is a Proline tripod. It's only about $30 or so. Super, super cool tripod. I can't tell you how much I love this thing. And I've had some expensive, like $200 plus tripods that don't even come close to this thing. Absolutely love this tripod. It's small. It has 3 sections of legs instead of most of them have 2. So it gets smaller and it goes higher, and then it still has a center support. So a lot of tripods, if you're setting it up and just kind of looking at yourself standing, they don't go as tall as me. And so it's kind of looking up, and you want a tripod that kind of looks down a little bit. That one absolutely rocks. So I'll link that up to Amazon. Back to the cables here on the floor. There aren't any. Here's what I've done, and I'll show you a clean shot of this. On the bottom of this, it's an IKEA desk. I've just cut some pegboard, and then as I was putting together the desk, I've hung the pegboard here from zip ties. So you can see those kind of right there. These big holes here serve a couple purposes. One, let's see if we can see this, is a screw to actually screw the metal here to the actual desk part. What I'll also do is run some cables through it. So there's a lot of cables underneath that, and then you can see that there's a little bit of a lip right here. It's actually one cable hanging on this lip. Everything is mounted, as much as I can, is mounted here underneath this desk. And so I have 1, 2, 3, actually I have another power strip down there, 4 power strips all running through, and then I've got the router mounted up under here. And then there's a bigger lip than this one on the back side of this, and so a lot of these cables are running back through there. So that's how that all works. Again, this is just a bass speaker and the control center for the my studio monitors. This computer is an iMac, or not an iMac, I'm sorry, it's a MacBook. As I pointed out, the keyboard and mouse, I don't do a lot of work. I mainly use it when I travel. I used to use it in production of both videos and of the show, and I don't do that any longer. So it doesn't get used a lot, mainly when I travel. This computer is really neat. It would be a lot cooler if, well, let me just get into it. It's a PC. There's a keyboard and a mouse, and you've probably heard of netbooks, which are kind of going out of vogue a little bit, but real small laptops, kind of just a fraction of the size of full ones. This is actually a net top. This is an external monitor, so it's a 19-inch monitor. Now, the computer is mounted to the monitor and actually have Wi-Fi on it. In fact, I should turn this around and put that up because I do have the Wi-Fi on. And so everything's running through that. It doesn't have an extra, or it doesn't have a DVD. It doesn't have any of those options. And so I do have an external DVD if I need that, but not a lot of options. Just to give you a quick tour around here, normally I have a big printer. It is out of order, and we just took it into the shop to get fixed. I use that printer an awful lot. That is a look around the studio, and I should also point out these blue things that you see every so often. Right now I've got 3 of them. There's 2 and 3 back behind the door here. These 3 are sound deadening, not soundproofing, but sound deadening. And essentially what I have going on is just some furring strips, I believe it's 1x4 or 1x3 furring strips. No, probably 1x4 furring strips. Some insulation, just some batted insulation, just the pink insulation that you see, the Pink Panther kind of stuff. And then I have it wrapped in fabric, and I've hung some picture frame or some picture wire across it and just hanging on the wall. And it really it makes a huge difference for absorbing sound. I really need probably another one up there. I've got one that lays sideways, and probably another one over there, and that would probably be about all I need. But still a bit of work in progress. One more thing besides this filing cabinet down here is extra gear. A lot of extra wires, cables, extra equipment. I've got it all hanging out in here. Anything that I would need, stuff tends to break or malfunction. I need to troubleshoot something, and I've got extra cables and all of that here. So that's a peek behind the curtain, behind the scenes, to show you what it looks like here in my studio at coachradio.tv. If you have any questions and you're not on the page, go to coachradio.tv/tour, leave those, and let me know. Be happy to answer them and help you get your own setup going.